welcome to the Dex Book Club Pokemon Adventures Edition. My name is Kelly, and I will be one of your hosts today on this adventure.
Oh, is it my turn? Yes.
Yes.
I'm Hilda, and I will be your other host today on, what is it called again? The Dex
Book Club.
Hell yeah.
Pokemon Adventures Edition. Volume 1.
It's a very long title.
Maybe the word edition will not be in the titles of this, but you know what? Just if you're thinking about what you want to call it, just call it the Dex Book Club.
Yeah, because maybe there's other Pokemon books you want to discuss at some other time. You never know.
Yeah. There's plenty of Pokemon books. This is the very first flagship episode of our new podcast, talking about Pokemon and the Pokemon Adventures Manga, which I have in my hands right here.
Me too.
Yeah. We do encourage you to read along if you've never read it before. Hilda, this is her first time reading this, reading the Pokemon Adventures Manga.
Not right now. I've read it, but it was my first time.
I mean, she's read it.
Yeah,
yeah.
We're not going to read it.
This will be my
for the first
second time. Yeah, we're not going to read it live on air because that would be. Is that copyright infringement?
I don't know.
I don't even know at this point.
Yeah. But if you have the manga. Stand up from your chair or wherever you are, or lay down. I don't know what you're doing. Roll around. Get your Pokemon Adventures Manga, Red and Blue, Volume 1. Get that.
Volume 1. We have second edition. There is a first edition, but the blue cover is the second edition. I don't know really what the difference is between the two, but probably like page numbers and stuff. But not a huge deal. This is the very first episode of this podcast, so it's kind of flying by the seat of our pants a little bit. There will probably be more of these. In fact, we do plan on doing more of these, as long as you like them.
As long as there's books to read.
As long as there are books to read. And hey, there are always books to read because there are too many books for you to even read in your entire lifetime.
But not about Pokemon, Kelly.
Not about Pokemon. Yeah, that's true. You could probably get through them in a couple days. It's pretty quick to get through these manga volumes because, you know, they go by pretty quick. Okay, so a little bit of introduction to the Pokemon Adventures Manga, which is... as usual, the manga canon is different from the anime canon, is different from the video game canon. This is the story of one iteration of Red, who is, you know, like the main protagonist of the very first Pokemon games. Red, Blue, Yellow, and Green. I think those were all like the very first generation of Pokemon games. So this basically starts his journey off in the region of Kanto. Hey. I think we're gonna go like chapter. We're kind of gonna do like a little summary chapter by chapter. We can like veer off and do whatever. Talk about whatever we think is importante for each chapter.
Everything is importante.
Everything is importante.
Yes.
I guess Hilda, do you want to start with chapter 1 with us?
Oh, me? What? Me?
Yeah, I'm gonna have you start with chapter 1.
I'm gonna start chapter 1. All right. Well, before I start, I want to say that this is the first manga I've ever read in my entire life.
Congrats!
So it was very. Oh wow, it was very confusing for me to read backwards because I come from a Western country. So does Kelly, but what? It doesn't matter. Anyway, it was hard, but I get it now. I feel the vibes. I'm feeling it.
It gives you a nice little warning if you like. I mean, first of all, the back cover of this book doesn't look like the front cover. Like,
yeah, no,
if you're holding it like a Western book, you like open it and Mew tells you that you're going the wrong way and you got to start from the other side. But yeah, it's tough at first to get that backwards reading thing. But like after like you kind of get in the rhythm of it, especially since now I'm on volume like 8 of the Adventures Manga, it's much easier to like know where your eye is supposed to go and what's the next thing that you're supposed to read. But yeah, I do grant you that it's like at first it's like, wait, which way do I go?
Happening?
I need help.
Help me.
All right, yeah, so what happens in chapter 1, which is called A Glimpse of the Glow?
Well, in A Glimpse of the Glow, our friend Red, who is not 10, I think he is about 14, 15 years old. That's what we're going to guess. We're going to go with that, right? 14,
yeah, go
15?
with that.
He seems a little bit more mature than Ash does. So he's a boy. He lives in Pallet Town. I think, does it say? Yeah, he lives in Pallet Town.
Yeah.
I know he already knows what Pokemon is like. He knows how to catch Pokemon, and he thinks he's pretty badass for a 12-year-old Pokemon trainer, 13, 14.
15?
Yeah, 15.
16?
He's just trying to impress the local kids who don't really know anything about Pokemon that much yet.
Catches a Nidorino for them.
Yeah, he catches a Nidorino for them, and the first thing that really happens is that he walks into Team Rocket, and he's looking at them from the bushes, and they're just like trying to find something, and that something is it's Mew.
The legendary Pokemon Mew.
The legendary Pokemon Mew, who appears on like page
Pokemon
13.
Mew.
It's like the Ho-Oh of the manga.
Yeah, except for like cuter, because Mew I think is definitely the cuter of.
Oh,
If you were like Ho-Oh or Mew, which one's cuter?
Oh.
I don't know. Like
Ho-Oh
everybody
isn't
thinks
cute. Like Lugia,
No, he's-
yes. Ho-Oh, no.
Lugia is pretty cute. Ho-Oh is like mystical. Mystical, right?
Mystical.
Ho-Oh always looks a little bit like angry too. He's got those angry face eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically, I mean, that's what happens in chapter 1. These chapters are very, very, very short.
Actually, no, there's more in chapter 1 because
there is more, right? You're right.
Yeah, he runs into our boy Blue, who is also known as Gary Oak, also known as whatever you call him in your childhood.
Jack.
Kelly apparently named him Jack for some weird reason, and
a good
I
name.
named him after Friends, which is also stupid. But yeah,
What did you name him?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Do you remember who your friends were?
No, I didn't. I didn't really have any friends, but I don't remember the names of my imaginary friends, so I can't tell you. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
That's not true. It's not true. But yeah, he walks into Blue, and Red is trying to catch this Mew because he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is a cool Pokemon." Or no, Blue is trying to catch Mew.
Blue's trying to catch him, yeah.
Blue's trying to catch Mew.
But he like gives up. He's like, nah, Charmander, just come back. You're not ready.
Yeah, so
Admirable.
Yeah, but then I want to point out that Blue does say the bestest of quotes from anything I've ever read personally.
Yeah. Well, because Red rushes in and tries to send out his Poliwhirl and like just gets crushed by the Mew.
So crushed.
And Poliwhirl just gets totally knocked out, and then Red has like some choice wisdom.
Yeah, and his wisdom is the following. Write it down, kids. Know your limitations, or you'll only beat yourself. I said that wrong, but it's fine. Know your
That's fine.
limitations, or you'll only beat yourself. And you know, it's deep. It's deep.
That's some good advice.
Yeah.
And it sets up our character arc for Red, who seems to be a little bit headstrong, rushes into things without thinking about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like he's a little bit of a mischievous little kid too. Like, you know, he's like he's following these bad guys, and like it actually sets us up right for chapter 2, which is called Bulbasaur Come Home.
Yay!
Red, after being schooled by this Mew, and he remembers something like one of the little kids told him that he was showing off for earlier, that Professor Oak lives in town and that he is a Pokemon expert. And so he goes over to Professor Oak's lab, rings the doorbell, nobody answers, and so he's like, I'll just go in, which... No, don't walk into a stranger's house. I don't know. I don't care who you are, Red.
It seems
walk into a
normal in
stranger's
Pokemon.
house.
Doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
it's a Pokemon
Yeah, it
thing.
does.
You just walk into houses.
mean-
It doesn't matter. Like,
Nobody ever cares.
yeah.
It's a different world. So he comes into this lab and he sees all these Pokemon and he's like, I didn't even know there were this many Pokemon. But he sees this Pokeball with Bulbasaur in it, and he picks it up and he's like, oh, what a cute little guy. He's so cool. He's got a little bulb on his back. And he shows him off to his Poliwhirl by picking up the Pokeball and showing them to each other, which is something that Hilda and I both love about this series.
yeah.
Like, look at that. It's so
It's
cute.
my favorite image from the entire series so far because, first of all, I find it very surprising that in this version of Pokemon, you can actually see the Pokemon inside the bowl and see their reactions and the way they chill in there.
Like the bottom is solid colored white, and then like the top is like a semi-transparent. I assume it's red. Yeah, it is. It's like a semi-transparent red, and you can like see the Pokemon in there, which is cool because you get to see like their facial expressions when things happen, and you can see them kind of interacting with each other inside their Pokeballs, which is a cool way to keep them in the story without like having to like take them out of the Pokeball all the time.
Yeah.
So I like that. So while he's picked up Bulbasaur gets like a little freaked out, and then the front door opens and Professor Oak comes home and he's like, "You're a thief!" And Red like jumps and gets scared and accidentally opens all the Pokeballs in the lab, and all the Pokemon run away. And that's crazy. Professor Oak gets super mad. Pidgey flies over his head and poops on his head. And Professor Oak like gets so mad, his teeth turn into fangs, and he like yells at Red. And Red's like, "I'm gonna go find these Pokemon," and Oak's like, "Heck no, you're a thief. I'm coming with you." And so he follows him on his little bike, his little like ching bike.
It's so cute.
Super cute.
It's so cute.
Yeah. So they like hop all around the town trying to get these Pokemon back, and eventually they go into Viridian City Gym, which appears to be abandoned. Inside the gym is Bulbasaur just like hanging out in a corner, a little bit freaked out. And so Red is trying to coax Bulbasaur to come back. He's like, "Man, you've never been outside, have you? Like it literally says, I bet you've never seen another living thing besides the old professor, huh? You were kept separate from the others in the Pokemon lab, weren't you?" It's like, was Professor Oak like abusing this Bulbasaur? Like, why was he being kept separate? Why hasn't he seen any other living things? Why is he so scared? It's kind of sad, right?
Yeah, well, he can see through his ball, right? Like, what is...
Yeah, I don't know what this is. Anyway, Bulbasaur is pretty scared, but suddenly a Machoke appears inside the gym, and it looks just terrifying. Like,
I'd be scared. I'd be so scared.
It's just a terrifying looking Machoke, and it's about to attack Red and Professor Oak, but Bulbasaur, empowered by Red's kindness to him, wraps him up with some vines. And Red figures out that it can learn Solar Beam and does Solar Beam on this Machoke and totally schools it. So, yay! Professor Oak is super impressed. He's like, "Why don't you have this Bulbasaur?" And then Red's like, "Okay, I'm going to take this Bulbasaur, but I just want you to know that I'm not a thief. I wanted you to train me to be better at Pokemon." And Oak's like, "Oh, is that all? Why don't you have this Pokedex?" So Red gets his starter and gets his Pokedex. And he's like going to be off on a journey to register catch 'em all, the classic adventure begins.
Yeah, let's just talk about how Professor Oak just hands out these devices to random kids after spending a lot of money and time on them.
Yeah, money and time on them.
It's not... Shouldn't do that, Oak. I'm just
Professor
saying.
Professor Oak has a cool relationship with children, though. He tends to put a lot of trust and faith in children he's only just met. Which, on one hand, like... seems counterintuitive, but on the other hand, maybe it's just a signal of him being very wise and a good judge of people, or maybe him trusting in the future generations to get the job done. So he's either very foolish or very smart.
How old do you think Professor Oak is? Like in his 60s?
I feel like Professor Oak is like 70.
70? Really? I think he's like... Yeah. I think he's just as old as my dad, which is in his 60s.
I feel like, well, I mean, he is
then
a
again, my
grandfather.
dad is smarter. Let's go with 70.
I think he's like mid 70s because if Blue is his grandson and Blue is about 15 or so.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I would assume that he's a little bit up there. I don't know. People call him like an old coot all the time, so he's got to be somewhat elderly.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so that's how Red gets his Pokedex and his starter, and so that's end of chapter 2.
But, he already had a starter. He had a Poliwhirl. Not a starter, but, like, he already had a Pokemon. It's not like it was his first ever Pokemon. So that's an interesting change in the manga, I think.
Yeah, and I kind of like that, like, he's not just, like, some fresh green, like, Pokemon trainer that's never seen a Pokemon before. He's, like, pretty experienced with Pokemon, and I think that helps to advance the plot a little bit later on because, like, you don't have to show that part of his journey. You get to see different parts of his character arc. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. That's the end of chapter 2.
Yeah, the next chapter is called The Secret of Kangaskhan. Now, Red is like super excited to get into the business of capturing Pokemon, and funnily enough, who's also there in the forest? It's our boy Blue, and he just captured a Venomoth, or he didn't because he already had one. He was too snobby to catch this one. But Red is just running around in the forest, and suddenly his Poliwhirl disappears and then gets smacked by something. That something is Charmander.
Yeah.
And it is Blue's Charmander. Now, Blue is like, hey, yo, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was your Pokemon. I'm sorry, dude. And you know, they're like, we're teenage boys. We don't like each other. Blah blah blah.
But he's like only kind of sorry.
He's not really
like,
sorry.
He's
He
more
doesn't
like,
care.
I thought it was a wild Pokemon. Don't take it personally. So he doesn't really apologize.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He's snarky.
And Blue seems to be there because he has a mission, and that mission is getting himself a Kangaskhan. Now, as this Kangaskhan appears, Blue is like, he goes all in. He wants to get this Kangaskhan, and he does everything he can to get this Kangaskhan. But then Red notices that, hey, something's up. Like, something's weird, and he tries to stop Blue. And it turns out that this Kangaskhan has a little baby in its belly.
A baby.
A little baby. And,
A little baby.
like, Red is like, no, you're not gonna catch this Kangaskhan because it has a baby. Well, that's weird because all Kangaskhan that you capture always have a baby, but no one ever takes that in consideration.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's weird.
Be careful about the babies. when
Yeah,
you're
don't
catching
hit
a
the
Kangaskhan.
baby with your ball.
And why does every Kangaskhan have to have a baby? Is what I am.
Well, it
is what
doesn't
I
apparently
wanna
because that's what this manga implies, that there also are Kangaskhan without babies, apparently. But
know.
yeah,
And you know what? That's that Kangaskhan's choice,
yeah.
and that's fine.
What if he doesn't want to be a mom? Why? But yeah,
I guess they're all girls, but whatever.
Did I say he? I did. Yes. Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, come on, we can do a seahorse situation. The dad can hold the baby. Come on,
Yeah.
come on, dads,
Yeah.
hold the baby.
This this baby Kangaskhan though is it's hurt, and Red gives it a potion and it's better, and I think Blue and Red part ways after this encounter, but it shows that Red really cares about Pokemon and their well-being. So it like pretty early in the manga it shows you like what kind of person he is. And I like that.
It really solidifies their rivalry between one another because, like, you know, Red is definitely like kind of like caring and learning, but whereas Blue is like very strong, and like I think that Blue needs to learn a little bit of like sensitivity and like learn. I mean, you know, he almost should take it. Well, I mean, he's telling Red to know his limits, but I feel like Red should tell him to like consider others' feelings.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's the main flaws that they have to like work through, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Something like that. But yeah, so Professor Oak's watching them from the bushes, and is like,
here,
they're gonna be great.
yeah, and now they part ways, and you can. I like that in the last image you see Blue and Red walking in different directions, and Blue just looks very confident and like strong, and then there's Red who just like walks around like a little boy, and it's very cute. So you can definitely see a difference even though they are pretty much the same age. Anyway,
Yeah. And so Red continues on. He's in Pewter City in the west of Pewter City, I guess. And in Pewter City right now there is a Pikachu that's just this chapter's called Wanted Pikachu, and he's just terrorizing the town, stealing people's food, being all mean, and the whole town is like, somebody get this Pikachu. And so the townspeople have been trying to catch the Pikachu like with a net, but they keep on getting electrocuted. There is a very, very cute slide where Pikachu's like caught in the net with an apple, and he's just like,
it's my favorite slide. It's my favorite. It's so cute. I already said this is my favorite slide about like 4 slides, but whatever.
That's true. That's no problem. But anyway, so Ash, not Ash, he's definitely not Ash. Do not think that he is Ash if you're reading this. Red. Red is like, all right, I'll take care of this guys for you guys. I'm a pretty good Pokemon trainer. And so like he sends out Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur and Pikachu fight, and Red ends up catching this Pikachu, who is not super excited about being captured. He's pretty angry about it. But for saving the town, they give him like free dinner, and then they're like, okay, and then Red's like, he goes to like outskirts of town to try to like get to know this Pikachu. This Pikachu is sassy. He does not want to hang out. He's like, I don't like you at all. Tries to shock him like a little bit, trying to break out of his Pokeball. Like pretty classic Pikachu stuff. And then who should show up but Blue, of course. And Blue is like, that Pikachu doesn't look like he likes you. Maybe you should be a stronger trainer. How about we go to Brock's gym, and if we win, he gives us the Boulder Badge, which will make us, he literally says, let's see here. The Boulder Badge can boost the attack power of your Pokemon, which is definitely consistent with the video games. But it's cool to see them like acknowledge that in like a more real setting.
Instead of just like a trophy.
Yeah, so it actually like they actually like have incentive to go do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they both decide that they're going to take on the gym the next day. But Red, whose Pokemon are pretty sick, not healthy. They're not pretty fully healed. They're pretty beat. He's like, I'll just go to the Pokemon Center in the morning. But the Pokemon Center in the morning was damaged by vandals, and they can't heal his Pokemon. And so he's like, what am I gonna do? I'm at this gym, and none of my Pokemon are healed. How am I gonna win? And that's the cliffhanger for Chapter 4, because Chapter 5 starts right then.
Before I start with Chapter 5, I am just realizing, like, why did Red have a potion for this Kangaskhan baby, but not for his own Pokemon? Like, how many potions did he have? Only one?
Maybe he did just have only one, and he just, like, used it to help someone in need.
That is very selfless of him.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
All right.
But it makes him pretty reckless.
Yeah, that too. Chapter 5 is called Onyx is On. And in this chapter, it just starts out with both Red and Blue. Oh no, mostly Red. Just first of all, they're like beating all the trainers in the gym, which is like very consistent with the games, which I think is cool. Instead of just fighting only the gym leader, first they have to go through rounds with other trainers. And
it's like a tournament.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but Red wears out his Poliwhirl and his Bulbasaur pretty bad during these battles. Now, and that
plus, like, since they're already worn out, he's like, instead of like fighting with my Pokemon, I'm just gonna end every battle in one hit. So like, he is actually like a pretty good trainer if he's able to do this, but like, don't fall back on that strategy. That's not a smart thing to do.
It's not smart. it's also kind of like sad. Are we already at the
Well, then the battle with Brock. So
yeah,
he gets to the battle with Brock, and he cannot use his Bulbasaur and his Poliwhirl because they're just too tired. So he has to use this untrained Pikachu
against a rock type,
right?
Which isn't great. But yeah, this Pikachu just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do it. He's like, nah, I don't want to fight. I'm just fine here. I'm fine. But this Onyx just attacks Pikachu, and Pikachu gets so angry with Onyx that it slays it. Let me just say that. It slays it. And then
while he's and then he gets like and then they like Ash and Pikachu or not. I have to stop calling him that. He is not Ash.
It's so easy to say Ash though.
I know.
Yeah.
Because they're just such a dynamic duo. But Red and Pikachu, like, they kind of have like a little like, okay, like, you're pretty cool. We'll continue to travel together. Like, they kind of make amends or whatever. At the end of the chapter, even though they still are like, and Pikachu's like still like really sassy, which he keeps that aspect of his personality, which I like.
Yeah, and at the end, Red just introduces Pikachu to his other friends, Bulbasaur and Poliwhirl, and like it's like, oh yeah, the journey is starting. Like, yay, everyone's happy.
Friends. Yeah. And that's it for 5,
and then there's a little preview of a very well-known lady getting attacked by a very large Gyarados, and that's where Kelly is going to take over.
Chapter 6, Gyarados splashes in. So on the outskirts of Pewter City, Ash, Red.
Oh my gosh!
Red.
Stop it!
Red. I know. I have to stop it. Red sees a woman being attacked by a huge Gyarados. She's trying to fight back with her Staryu. It's not really going so well. And so Red's like, take it easy, lady. I'll handle this. Save the damsel in distress. And he sends out Bulbasaur and manages to subdue the Gyarados with Leech Seed. Actually, Gyarados uses Hydro Pump on the Bulbasaur, and Bulbasaur just like is happy. He just like is like, ooh,
yeah, it's like, wait, water.
Bulbasaur's like, grow. I'm the strongest. So the girl introduces herself. Her name's Misty, and they double team tag the Bulbasaur and Staryu, like double team the Gyarados, managed to beat him up. There's something in this that was like really, really strange, because I don't know if this is like a translation error or what, But basically, they're talking about Staryu and Bulbasaur both attacking the Gyarados at the same time. And Red says, we should start double dating. And Misty says, we should. And then they both attack the Gyarados. But I'm pretty sure that's not what a double date is.
I don't. Maybe.
Maybe in the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
But like,
maybe. But
also, like, Red like sticks his tongue out when he says it.
Yeah, he's like
it's
oh, numb.
But she's just like, yeah, we should. But they don't end up dating. So spoilers. Sorry. But we come to find out after the battle that the Gyarados is actually Misty's Pokemon. They managed to capture it. But I think Red throws the Pokeball, which is weird. Yeah, Red throws the Pokeball and it catches the Gyarados. But then we find out that it's Misty's Gyarados. So that's a little bit inconsistent with what we know about catching Pokemon that already have trainers. But we do figure out that Misty's Gyarados had been kidnapped and is acting totally different now, and there's something wrong with it. So they decide to Skype Professor Oak and talk to him and ask him what he thinks. So Professor Oak tells them about the Moonstone, which is a stone that Team Rocket's been using to experiment on Pokemon with. It's causing Pokemon to become stronger. And so they're like, well, I guess we should go into Mount Moon and see what's going on. And Misty's like, I'll go with you. And Red's like, you don't need to go with me. I can handle myself. You're a girl. And she was like, excuse me. And she pulls out all her Pokeballs. And she's like, I'm a water type trainer. You're going into Rock Tunnel. You're going to need my help. Also, don't be sexist. She doesn't say that. But like,
no, that is what she says.
Yeah, it's like the implication. She's like, I am a good trainer, so I'm coming with you. And he's like, oh, okay.
Oh,
great. And that's actually the end of chapter 6. It's more exposition based, basically. It's just kind of sets up the chapter 7, which is called Raging Rhydon.
Raging Rhydon. Ash and Misty go into Mount Moon to try and find this elusive moonstone that elusive that apparently is that even the right word?
Yeah, that's right. The right word.
I always get confused when I should use elusive. I just really like using
elusive
that word.
It just means like mysterious and like not like out of their grasp.
Right. So they're trying to get this moonstone that should boost their power of their Pokemon that are don't evolve with moonstones. But sure. And what happens? They run into a rock. I was gonna say something different, but they walk into a rock, and that rock turns out to be a Rhyhorn.
A Rhyhorn.
A Rhyhorn. And that Rhyhorn belongs
not just to any Rhyhorn. Yeah.
Yeah, that Rhyhorn belongs to Team Rocket. Now, Team Rocket has a type of a leader in this little bit here, and this leader boy looks very familiar. Phew, I wonder who it is. We'll talk about that later. But it looks very familiar. But yeah, this man challenges our boy and girl to a battle. But before
our boy and girl? Oh yeah, it's Misty. I'm sorry. I thought we were with Blue for a second. Like, and I don't know why I thought that, because we've been just talking about Misty.
Now, yeah, Pikachu is attacking this Rhyhorn, but then something happens. Our Team Rocket leader man pulls out a needle that is apparently very, very, very sharp, because it can go through a Rhyhorn, which is made out of rock. But sure, it can go through it, and it evolves into Rhydon, and it is completely savage. It is a very angry Rhydon.
We assume that this is probably what happened to the Gyarados.
Yeah, Gyarados was aggressive, and so is this Rhydon, and like Misty's like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is what happened to my Gyarados. So they try to attack Rhydon. Nothing really happens, but Pikachu, jumps in with its Thunderbolt, which can definitely works against a ground and rock type like Rhydon. But what happens here is kind of weird. This Rhydon just smashes Pikachu with its paw. Like it's
he just
nothing.
Like, steps right on him.
Yeah, and this is like, you can see Pikachu's little feet coming out of under Rhydon's foot, and it's kind of creepy, and it shows like how dark this manga can be.
Yeah.
It's
smushes him.
pretty dark. But hey, Pikachu, you can't face Pikachu. He's ready.
He's a buff boy.
And he shocks this Rhydon into some thing. Can't think of the word.
Into
but
some submission. Well, yeah, he like smashes him into the rock and like the cave kind of like caves in a little bit.
it caves in, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Misty gets upset about having dirt on her, which is a bit sad that actually happens. But sure, she smashes.
At least they made it out of the cave.
Yeah, she smashes Red, which is good. And she's like, "Aw, too bad we didn't get that moonstone." But surprise, surprise,
Red just had it.
He just had it. He found it on the floor, and now
When the cave-in happened, there it was.
Whee! There it was. So, yeah, they have the moonstone, and they're gonna use it, but I don't know how they're gonna use it.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
But also something that happened during that cave-in is like the hat got knocked off of the Team Rocket leader guy, and it looks a lot like gym leader Koga. I mean, he hasn't introduced his name, so maybe it's not him, but come on.
Also known as Kelly's grandfather, apparently.
Yes, my grandfather. My mom's name is Janine, and she's a poison type gym leader.
Oh, she is? That's cool.
She could be. Her real name is Janine, though. So I, therefore, by proxy, I must be Koga's granddaughter because I'm good at Pokemon, and I have a mom named Janine. So there's no other explanation to me.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Yeah.
So they're out of the cave. This brings us into chapter 8, which is my favorite title of a chapter, which is Suddenly Starmie, which is a reference to Suddenly Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors, and got the song stuck in my head for a couple hours yesterday. That's okay, though. It's a good song. And so they go to Misty's house, which happens to be a mansion, and she comes out and she's dressed up in a beautiful ball gown. She
looks like a mermaid.
Yeah, like a total mermaid, beautiful princess.
Misty the
and
perfect
she's got
mermaid.
she's got these handmaidens that are all girls, and they're all like, "Ooh, hey Red." He's like, "Hey ladies, how's it going?"
That's so cute.
So he decides, so she's like, "Stay the night here, rest up. Maybe we can train together tomorrow." And he's like, "Nah, I want to train with you." And Misty gets mad, and Red goes to bed. In the middle of the night, a whooshing sound comes in through his window, and he gets attacked, and not attacked, but he almost gets blown out the window.
Oh, we don't know why.
But Bulbasaur catches him, and it's why? Who knows? And but there's a Gyarados scale left behind in his room after the whirlwind clears, the Twister, if you will. It was probably the move Twister. Let's be honest.
Hey, the Gyarados skill looks exactly like a dragon skill.
It does.
I mean, obviously it is, but it looks like the actual item.
Yeah, it does. It very much does. So the next morning he's having breakfast and he's like, hey ladies, hey handmaidens, you want to see me fight? And they're like, yes. And he's like, all right, then I'm going to go find the Cerulean City gym leader. I bet he's going to be a tough guy. Sorry, I just kicked my table. I bet he's going to be a tough guy. And they're like, exactly. Yeah. They're like, and he's like, what? What's wrong? And then Misty comes out and she's like, I'll take you to the gym leader. And so she leads him across town to the empty Cerulean gym. Red's looking around. He's like, oh man, he's not even here. What a terrible gym leader. And then she's like, actually, I gym leader.
And he's
he's like,
a girl.
And he's like, oh yeah, that's super, super hilarious. Yeah, right. And she's like, okay, fine. And she attacks him. And she's kind of schooling him a little bit. He sends out Bulbasaur, but it's still not too much of a, they're not doing well. They're both really emotional. They get mad. Misty gets frustrated. She starts frustrated crying, saying you just don't think I'm good at this. And those guys in Mount Moon, they could have taken us. They could have killed us. And you're so cocky that you don't think that I'm worth training with. You're gonna get crushed. And she gets really frustrated. And then he's like, you know what? You're totally right. I'm really sorry. And they end up training with one another. It's a few days late. It skips to a few days later. They're shaking hands. We learn that they've learned each other's skills and they are both better at battling now. And he has the Cerulean Gym badge, Cascade badge. And they shake hands on good terms. They're happy. She's like, you know what? We're going to be meeting again. I know it because I know Team Rocket's not going to be doing good stuff. And I bet you got to be on the good guys team when it comes down to it. And he's like, absolutely. And so it's cool that he's kind of made this ally. Yeah, it's on his little it's pinned to his chest as he's leaving.
I didn't notice that.
As he's leaving the city.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah.
Okay, the next chapter, I'll do it, but you have to do the voices.
Okay,
because,
I can do some voices.
Yeah, the next chapter is about our good friend Bill, the creator of the Pokemon computer system. And just like, I'm pretty sure that happens in the games too, right? He's like a Rattata at first. Is that true?
Oh, he fused with a Clefairy in the games.
Oh, a Clefairy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, what does Bill say, Kelly?
Well, the very, very first thing he says in like the preview of it, like, okay, so Bill, the way that Bill is written, it's very obvious that he has like a Southern accent, like, and not just a Southern accent, like maybe like a Louisiana or Alabama kind of accent, like deep South accent. And he's like, the first thing he says is, "Dang it, the thing's gone kablooey again. This here Pokemon transporter don't run no better in a Metapod and molasses. Fixing it just one big old pain in the double dang." And then he gets trapped in the Pokemon transporter and fuses with a Rattata and becomes Bill with Rattata's face.
Bill Tata. It's like a
Tata.
Rattata that just has Bill's face. And the chapter is called But Pharaoh Itself. And it starts out with Red, who has too many Pokeballs on him. Like, he doesn't know, he caught so many Pokemon. And he actually says, "But I worked so hard to catch them all." And I'm like, yeah, that is a Pokemon quote.
Yeah, it literally says "catch 'em all."
Catch them
Like,
all. Yeah.
Catch 'em all.
So
but he's carrying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
So
7, 8,
many.
9. He's carrying 10 Pokeballs.
So many. He randomly runs into a weird Rattata that is carrying a log.
He's like pulling a log on a string.
And he wants to capture it, and then he realizes it has a human face, which is very weird.
But still Rattata teeth.
Yeah, still Rattata teeth, but it's very cute. I think it's very cute. This is another one of my favorite things that Bill says is, "Hot dang, a human being."
A human being.
A human being. I can't do it.
Hot dang, a human being.
I'm not American. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, that happens. They go into Bill's house. Oh wait, they don't yet. They want to go to Bill's house, but what happens? A pharaoh becomes mean.
A pharaoh of ancient
A
Egypt.
pharaoh. Sorry.
Yes. That's okay. I don't care how people pronounce Pokemon names because literally accents are real and people speak in different languages, and it doesn't matter what you call a Pokemon as long as everyone knows what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you're right.
People like get mad at me for mispronouncing Japanese things all the time. And I'm like, okay, like that's fine. But like also keep in mind that like I work with someone who's Japanese and she calls me Katie, and that's not my name, but I know that's how she says it and I'm okay with it because I know that she means me. So like, come on, just like relax.
Okay, calm down. Calm down, Kelly. Are you okay? Are you okay, honey?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm all right.
Right. Pharaoh picks up Bill, thinking it's a Rattata.
Yeah.
Rattatter.
Gonna eat him. Gonna eat that tater.
Yeah. So it's our boy Red is just trying to slap this Pharaoh out of the sky with his what is it using? Razor leaf? Razor leaf. And then Bill says the following. Kelly.
Oh, shoot. I changed it. Okay. Now listen, boy. If you want to stop a flying Pokemon, first thing you do is paralyze its wings. It's wangs.
Wangs. It says wangs, guys.
It's spelled W-A-N-G-S.
W-A-N-G-S, and it's like in
Wangs.
bold font, like wangs. Yeah.
It's like definitely wangs.
Definite wangs.
Yeah, but he manages to get the bird at least out of the sky for after Pikachu does like a thunderbolt on it. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
And then Bill drops to the ground. And Pharaoh, for some reason, wakes up again. And what does he do? Oh, wait, I'm confused now. You do it.
Pharaoh gets mad, like wakes up, and then Bill's like, "Hi, boy, better watch out." And Pharaoh's using Drill Peck, and it literally Drill Pecks straight through the body of Poliwhirl, like. Yeah, you can see the indent where the beak goes in and out the other side of Poliwhirl's center of his body.
It's gross.
Which is like, oh my gosh, like violent and
Also,
sad.
do you remember like that? I just only recently realized that Poliwhirl's like swirly thing is just like his guts.
Oh yeah, it's his guts. So like, if you know anything about Poliwhirl, you're like, oh, he just got stabbed in the guts, through the guts.
I mean, he would
But,
have even if the spiral wasn't his guts, but still, like that's his guts, right? It's
Yeah, man,
kinda-
it's crazy.
kinda creepy.
But the good news is that it was just an illusion.
It was
and
just-
Poliwhirl like fades away, and Firo gets frozen, and he saves Bill.
And then they go to Bill's house, and Bill becomes an actual human being.
A human being.
A human being, and takes care of Ash's Pokeballs.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, you can send Pokemon to me, and I'll make sure that they're cool. You can swap them out anytime. Just basically sets up the PC system for him. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and then he is on a hill having a good time, and somewhere in the distance he sees a ship.
A ship. Which brings us to chapter 10, Danger, High Voltorb. Good pun.
Danger,
Yeah, so
danger! High Voltorb.
So it appears that Red has wandered into Vermilion City, and he's kind of looking around. It looks like a port town. He sees the SS Anne. He actually goes onto the SS Anne for a second, like just trespassing, like he doesn't even give a care. And he gets caught by the leader of the Pokemon fan club, who literally looks like a person in disguise.
Like Meowth in disguise.
Yeah. Like, you thought that they were gonna be that it was gonna be like Jesse James and Meowth in this?
Yeah.
Did you think that while you were reading it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I was
but
just
nah.
very confused about it. He just looks so much like Meowth.
He looks super funny. But anyway, he brings him back to the Pokemon fan club. Everyone's geeking out over Pikachu. They think Pikachu's super, super cute, and they love him. And Pikachu's like, I don't like you guys doing this. Stop. So yeah, they're talking about the leader of the fan club is like, I love Pokemon, but my Abra has been stolen, and other Pokemon around the town have been stolen. And Red's like, what? I love Pokemon.
But
But
you're missing a very important part about the Pokemon fan club.
what
which
did
is
oh my gosh,
the Pokemon fan club newsletter, which you can see in the corner
yeah.
of one of the things. Maybe I can show it. Can you
It's
see
on
it?
page 136 if you're reading along.
If you're
with
reading
us.
along. Anyway, it says, first of all, the headline is, "We love Pokemon, a case of Poke love." And you're like, oh, that's kind of sweet. But then the first article is, "That's the last bath I'll take with my Tentacool." And Red just looks at it like,
He's got like a little teardrop coming down the back of his head. Like, I'm not comfy with.
Yeah,
I'm not comfy with this either. This is a little bit strange.
it's a bit gross.
Also, did you notice that the girl in the photo, the Tentacool bath girl, is like standing behind him in the previous slide?
Oh my god, yes!
She's like in the room.
I only just realized that.
I
That's
want to
so
know.
dumb.
I want to know. Please tell me
you?
she just got stung or poisoned. I don't. You know what? I would rather never know what happened in that bath. Let me tell you. for
Let's
real.
just
I don't
not.
want to even go there with Pokemon, and I hope that my adult mind just thought of that, and that no one else thought of that, and that's not real. But anyway, anywhere. He's like, people have been stealing Pokemon all around Vermilion City, and Red's like, I ain't gonna stand for that. I'll go ahead and find them. And so he goes, he goes back to the SS Anne, breaks onto the SS Anne again, and is like, I'm gonna get those Pokemon back. And then, but the guy is like, first, before you go, I have one request, the fan club leader. And he's like, what? And he's like, can you guys leave Pikachu with us so we can cuddle him? And then Red, he does.
He does it.
He's like, yeah, sure. And he like looks sad about it, but like, come on, you just left Pikachu with this guy.
That's like
who's,
you
like, hugging
leaving
him.
Wallace with some random people. So
Like
they
a
can
stranger
hug
that I
him.
just met.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, he's the cutest dog I've ever seen. Do you think that you could leave him with me so that I could cuddle him? I would be like, no, that sounds like you're going to steal him. So definitely not. No, absolutely not.
That's
But
crazy.
anyway, he decides to go solo and go find the culprits here. He broke onto the SS Anne. He like swims around and like climbs up the side, and he sees a Pokeball on the floor. He grabs it, and it shocks him because, hey, surprise, it's a Voltorb.
A very tiny
Voltorb
Voltorb.
the size of a Pokeball, which is kind of cute.
Tiny Voltorb.
And then he realizes, actually, Poliwhirl gets knocked out by electricity. And then he realizes that he's in an entire room full of Voltorb, Electrode, and Magnemite, which are all shapes and sizes, which is really cool, which is really neat. I like that they're all different sizes.
Yeah.
It
It
justifies.
I'm especially fond of the very, very, very tiny Electrode.
I know, it's very cute.
It's very tiny. I wonder
It's
how
really,
big
really
the Voltorb that it like evolved from was, because that is a tiny,
I know.
tiny
It's
Electrode.
like a little marble Voltorb.
Yeah, like a marble,
But
yeah.
I like this. I like this too because it kind of justifies in the games when like you mistake a Pokeball for a Voltorb or an Electrode. Like you would never do that because Pokeballs are like hand sized. But like in this, some of them are big, some of them are small. So like totally makes sense that you'd mistake them.
Sense.
And then it's
Finally.
revealed that there is an evil man aboard the ship that has all these electric type Pokemon. But that's for chapter 11.
Oh.
Buzz off, Electabuzz.
Who is? When does he introduce himself? Anyway, this man is. We all love him. We all know him. It is Army Boy, Lieutenant Surge.
Ooh.
Now, you know, for some reason in this manga so far, most gym leaders have been like mean and bad, apart from Misty. And like Brock wasn't very nice
Brock
either.
was just like,
He was.
yeah, but like Brock was more like, hey, like why aren't you fighting me like I want you to fight? Like you just schooled all these trainers and now you're fighting like crap.
Yeah.
Because he was using the unskilled Pikachu.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't seem like a mean guy. He just seems like a pretty standard trainer.
Yeah. Anyway, Lieutenant Surge has all these Pokemon on board of the SS Anne because he feels like it's abusive to keep them in balls and like take care, like have them, I don't know, like bound to you as a person. So
It's really interesting, yeah.
yeah, he wants to free these Pokemon and like give them a life in the wild or something. I think like it doesn't really specify what he wants to do with it. Because,
Right.
weirdly enough, he has an Electabuzz tied to chains. So that is also a bit
Yeah,
contradictory.
that's so nice.
Like, how it... Yeah, anyway.
That's like sad, yeah.
No, actually, Lieutenant Surge's thing is that, like, he frees the pampered and coddled and under-evolved Pokemon. So
I see.
He just wants Pokemon to be strong. That's it.
I see. So yeah, so he's been kidnapping Pokemon, forcing them to evolve,
Yeah.
and like become stronger because he thinks that if you're not evolving your Pokemon, you're wasting their potential.
Right, yeah.
Got
So yeah, he picks up, like, he puts out this big Electabuzz who's about to, like, bop all the Pokemon, all of Red's Pokemon. It takes out Poliwhirl, but then Poliwhirl's a smart boy. He touches the floor and makes the floor ice so that, yeah, they all get icy. And then they run away. And Red hides for a little bit. But of course, there are some espionage Magnemites flying around the ship. Magnemites of all shapes and sizes, mind you.
True.
Very important note. They are of different shapes and sizes. Yeah, and they find Red. Aww. Lieutenant Surge finds him. There's even a Magneton involved. Shout out to Davis. And what else happens? Yes, he picks up the Poliwhirl and just like grabs it by the arm and throws it overboard, and it just drops into the water. And then
How like shocks Red pretty. The
How does Red
Magneton like
fall? Oh.
bops Red. Red gets like shocked to heck. And
no,
electrocuted.
they
and-
make a magnetic field around Red and drop him above the water. I only just realized that.
Oh yeah, they do. They shock him, then they like knock him out, then they like make a magnetic field and drop him into the water. That's crazy.
And
Scary.
then a little cute flashback happens, which you can tell.
Flashbacks. So in the flashback, Red is like sinking in the water and he's like, this has happened once before. I remember. And it shows him as a kid. He fell into a river and he was drowning and his Poliwag like came in but didn't have any arms to save him. So Poliwag was like, heck no, and like evolved so that he could grab him and bring him out of the water and save him. Which is awesome. And then lo and behold, Poliwhirl, remembering that, like suddenly like there's like a little ripple on the surface of the water and Poliwrath jumps out of the water with Red under his arm and like lands on the deck and is like, you hurt my man.
And he's
and
so
he,
buff.
Like,
So
he like
buff.
very gently sets down Red and then is like, boom, and just like swats this Electabuzz.
My poor Pokemon loving heart. That's just so so sweet.
Like swats him. He hits him so hard that they go flying off into the ocean, and then it like poses and like does like some like muscle posturing, and Red saves the day pretty much. He gets all of those Pokemon back, and it's great.
Yeah, he brings back the Pokemon to shore, and everyone finds their cute Pokemon, and most of them are actually evolved. But then Mr. Director runs to him and goes, "But where is my Abra? My Abra!" Turns out Abra evolved into a great big Alakazam. And then our boy Mr. Director fainted because he did not want that, because Abra is cute and Alakazam is not.
Sad.
And I think it's sad.
And that never resolves, really.
Yeah.
It's just he just hates his Pokemon now.
Spoiler, I took in the Alakazam. He's now my friend.
Yeah. Don't worry. Hilda has the Alakazam now.
I have it.
Canon.
Yes.
So that's the end of that chapter. The next chapter is kind of like I don't want to call it a filler chapter because I feel like that discredits it, but like there's not too much that happens in this chapter. But it is called Wake Up, Your Snorlax. And
what does it mean? Like, is it like a pun on Wake Up, Your Next?
I think it's Wake Up, You're Snoring. Like, but that's not really like, it's not a great pun.
That's a bad pun, even.
Wake Up, Your Snorlax.
I think it's Wake Up, You're Next.
Great.
I don't know.
So it's a bike race, and so Red's just like doing this bike race in order to try to get some money, and yeah, so it's just like 10 pages of a bike race. Halfway through the bike race, like Bulbasaur gets like coated in bee drill honey, and like he's all sticky and sad. But they finally come across. He's about to win the race. Wait, is that true? Is he's about to win the race?
No, not yet. He's like third, but
Yeah. Yeah, so he's like third in the race, but like everybody gets stopped at Route 12 because there's a big Snorlax, a huge Snorlax actually. It's enormous.
It's so
there's
true.
There's a huge Snorlax just sitting on the pier.
So true to the game. I love that. Like
right. It's like
the
right
way
on
he
that
goes,
pier section
right?
where the real
goes
Snorlax
to the
was.
SSN, Route 12. And then next up, he might be going to Lavender Town. Spoiler, he is. But
yeah, he definitely is. So he's like, how are we gonna wake up the Snorlax? He tries attacking it, it doesn't work, and so he's like, how about, hey Bulbasaur, you're covered in honey. Snorlax, do you want to eat this Bulbasaur? And Bulbasaur's like, he trusts him. But the Snorlax wakes up and like snarls and like chases Red all the way to the finish line. And he actually wins the race with Snorlax like in tow trying to eat him. Snorlax literally is like, doom.
I only ever realized that it actually says doom.
Yeah, it says doom. And so he crosses the finish line. He wins the $10,000 prize money, but Snorlax is so angry and hungry that he had to spend all of his money to feed the Snorlax to get him happier.
That's a lot of food for 10,000 Pokedollars.
And it doesn't say this specifically, but Red does catch this Snorlax. This is now his Snorlax, even though it doesn't show him actually throwing the Pokeball, which I thought was kind of weird. But I think the Snorlax comes back a little bit later, so I just wanted to make sure that we all knew that he catches that Snorlax.
He catches it. Hell yeah.
He catched it. Yeah.
Next up, we are heading to Lavender Town. I already spoiled it. I know. It was very unexpected. In Lavender Town, our boy Red meets Mr. Pyre. Pyre?
Mr. Pyre.
Mr. Pyre? That's not what he's called, is he?
Mr. Pyre.
Is he called?
Is that his name?
No.
Mr. Fuji? Is it
Mr. Fuji?
Mr. Fuji.
I was thinking about Mount Pyre. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're both graveyard hills.
Yeah, so. Right? So it wasn't that bad. Mr. Pyre.
Mr. Pyre. Mr. Fuji.
Yeah, he meets Mr. Fuji. He's like a cute old man without a mouth or a nose, even. And this old little man is looking at the grave of his sad, deceased Doduo, which is a sad reminder of the fact that Pokemon are actually mortal, and this manga shows that. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. So Mr. Fuji talks about how this town is apparently haunted, and Red's like, I don't know if I'm into that kind of stuff, but yes, sure. But what happened? Yes. Mr. Fuji has a picture of Doduo, and for some weird reason, Blue is in that picture, and I still don't really understand why Blue is in that picture. Because it's like a family photo of Mr. Fuji, his Doduo, and Blue.
Well, maybe at this point, Blue has like a little bit of clout, and people think he's a good trainer, and so maybe he was just like, hey, we should all take a picture together or something. I don't know. There is not really a justification for it, but like Red is certainly surprised to see Blue in that photo.
He's very surprised, yeah. But then the old man's like, he went into the, what's the tower? What's
Lavender
the tower called?
Lavender Tower.
Lavender Tower? Is that what it's called?
Pokemon Tower, I guess is what it's called.
Pokemon Tower.
Yeah.
The old man's like, he went into the Pokemon Tower 2 weeks ago and he never returned. And Red's like,
2 weeks?
That's a long time. They didn't call the
Why didn't
police
you
or
call?
no one.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, he'll figure it out.
So just a missing 15-year-old, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2
and
weeks gone.
the reason he went to the tower was because he's like, nah, I don't believe in no ghosts. I'm gonna figure out what the heck is going on. But he never returned, so
ghosts.
maybe he got eaten.
Yee.
Let's find out,
Spooky,
shall
scary.
we? So Red goes into the Pokemon Tower, and it's creepy. And he keeps hearing noises such as gulp and brr and plop. And, the worst sound to hear when you're alone in a big tower is plop, because that is a terrifying noise.
Brr, plop.
Plop. Anyway.
And his...
he's just chilling, and in the distance he sees a Pokemon, and it's a Psyduck. And he's like, oh, a Psyduck. And then more Pokemon appear, like Slowpoke and Lickitung, like weird Pokemon. Tangela, like the weirdos of the bunch, you know them. But then our friend Psyduck turns into the most terrifying thing I have ever seen.
Just a horror creature.
If you have played Five Nights at Freddy's,
It's
it
Chica.
looks like one of those guys. Who?
It's Chica. It's Chica, the duck one, the chick one.
I don't know the names.
He's even got the teeth.
I don't know the
Chica's
names.
the duck.
So
the duck one
now
with
we
the
know
teeth.
that Chica the duck is based off of zombie Psyduck from the Pokemon manga. So
Canon.
yeah. And then Psyduck turns into like a skeleton, and it's terrifying. And Bulbasaur is like, oh, I am not having this. Well, actually, Red is like that, but Bulbasaur does a little razor leaf into its head, and its head goes sorp. That's what it says. The leaf goes inside the head, and nothing happens. Because these Pokeboys are zombies, and it's
Which is cool, right? Zombie Pokemon? Like, that's
also
pretty
kind of
awesome.
scary. Because at some point, like, these Pokemon are like, their shells empty. I personally think they came out of the graves. I think they are like actual dead Pokemon.
Yeah, like Psyduck's eye pops out at one point.
Yeah,
It's
his
like,
eye pops out, and then like
nasty.
they start decomposing. It's like so
it's like
vile.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's gross. But I noticed that it's only like Lickitung, Slowpoke, Tangela, and Psyduck. So that's the only Pokemon that die.
Guess so.
I guess. Oh, and then he makes Red makes a funny pun, saying trying to mystify me, eh?
Ooh, because of the fog.
There's fog in the tower.
But then he sees red, or he says blue.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, Blue appears, and he looks like a zombie too. He looks very dead inside. Together with his Charmeleon, which his Charmander evolved. Now that we know that now. And you're up next.
Oh yeah, so that's the end. So yeah, he sees this like scary version of possessed Blue, and he's like, oh no. And chapter 14, which is the final chapter of this book, is called That Awful Arbok. And he's like, Blue, talk to me, but he won't. And he's like, he's being controlled. His mind is being controlled. Wait a minute, I know a Pokemon that controls people's minds. It's one Pokemon with psychic abilities. It's Ghastly. Ghastly's not a psychic type Pokemon. It is a poison and ghost type Pokemon. Ghost poison, I guess, if you want to be technical about it.
But it is very smart of him that he realizes that Ghastly can do that. Like, he shouldn't know that. He shouldn't have run into a Ghastly yet, because he's just I mean, he doesn't...
Starting that journey.
Unless he maybe caught one in the tower in the meantime and read it in his Pokedex. I don't know. Maybe that happened.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like, oh, this must be a Ghastly. And so he manages to attack the Ghastly and free Blue from his possessed prison. So Blue like collapses at first, and then he's like, hey, Blue, are you okay? And Blue is like, thank you for waking me up. I've got to go figure this out because somebody cast a spell on me. And then he's like, what? Someone cast a spell on you? And so he's like going up to the top of the tower to be like, no, I'm going to go get this guy. And then suddenly we hear Bulp, Arb,
Blork.
and Bloop, Blork, Arb, Blop, Arble. And who should appear but Ninja Koga with a shh.
That's the sound ninjas make.
He kind of just shushes in.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's not wearing his Team Rocket disguise much now. He's just wearing his ninja outfit, and he's like, I am one of Team Rocket's elite triad.
Ooh, that's exciting.
So what is that? What is the elite triad?
I don't know.
All I know is an elite four. But yeah, he attacks them with his Arbok, and this Arbok is some nasty stuff. The Arbok is like throwing acid on all these Pokemon. Red and Blue start to like run down the stairs, trying to like escape this Arbok that's spitting acid on everything. And then Blue turns back to fight with his Charmeleon, and he's about to get schooled. Charmeleon gets poisoned, and Blue's like, heck no. He has Charmeleon do an attack, which the sound effect for is chash, and literally cuts Arbok in half.
It's so gross.
You can see his spine and his muscles and his bones, and Arbok's mouth is open like in this scream of horror. He's just in half. It was so disturbing, so violent. And then he's just like on the floor in a pile. He's just on the floor in a pile going like.
By the way, did you notice that our boy Koga, your granddad, is flying, like a Golbat is holding him up, and he's actually like doing all his commands to the Arbok via a Golbat mirror, which is super cool.
Yeah, so it's revealed then that he is like flying away from the tower, like with his
Golbat already.
Oh yeah. So he's like elsewhere, and he's like looking in and like giving commands through this like crazy mirror. So like he's controlling this Arbok, which is wild. And yeah, so he's like flying away from the tower with his Golbat that looks like a Crobat because of the motion blur on the wings. But it definitely is a Golbat. And so yeah, so he flies away, he gets away, like they manage to escape the tower, and Mr. Fuji is like, oh, you got that, young man. I'm so glad. Now Doduo can rest in peace. And then Red's like, oh no, it wasn't me. Blue used his Charmeleon to cut that Arbok in half. So like he's the real winner today. And that's how we close out the first book of Pokemon Adventures Manga.
Yeah, and hey, there is a preview for the next one, which I haven't read, but Kelly has. And it shows a new character, and it's a girl, and she looks super cute, and I'm really excited to know who she is.
Ooh, I know who she is. She's got a Wartortle, and then it says, a legendary Pokemon? Don't miss it. A monstrous experiment. Who is this mysterious girl, and why is she after Red? What is causing a disturbance in the ranks of Team Rocket? You won't be able to put this volume down.
I'm excited. Also, at the end of is a little map, and that map shows literally every place Red has been to in what chapter on the map of Kanto. And I think that is that's so cool. I had a really fun time looking at that. Like it just shows what battles he had in what city, and like how he went, and it's really cool. But like he already has seen most of Kanto by now, so like what's gonna happen?
Yeah, and actually cool. And on the next page it says like Red's Pokedex, and it says that, you know, in this first volume he has caught 26 Pokemon, which like I don't know where he got all those guys.
In the forest.
He has 2 badges. And actually, he says, number found 56, number caught 26. Although Red only owns a single Poliwhirl when he leaves Pallet Town, by the time he gets to Lavender Town, he's already caught 26 Pokemon. Go for it, Red. Fill up that Pokedex. But yeah, it says he's only using his 3 favorites, Bulbasaur, Pikachu, and Poliwrath for right now.
And his Bulbasaur and Poliwrath are like already level 30, so they're
so they're doing pretty good, you know? Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of book 1.
Hell yeah.
That was pretty enjoyable. What do you think of the Adventures manga in relation to the other aspects of Pokemon?
I really enjoy it, and I like that it's so different from what you're used to in Pokemon things. It's like a little bit more mature and like a little bit more graphic because it's a graphic novel. But yeah, it's more graphic, and I like seeing like this like a different side of Pokemon because in the anime it's so. Like, everything's, like, really, like, sweet. Like, the worst thing that happens is Pikachu walks away and then comes back, you know? And, like, here, an Arbok gets cut in half. What?
Yeah, that's wild.
It is wild, yeah. I think it's really cool. I'm really excited to read the rest of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool things that happen, like, later on. I really like how the gym leaders have more of, like, they have more, like, character to them than I think they do in the games, for
lot
sure.
more depth.
And, like, yeah, and, like, in the anime, like Brock, like, didn't do anything in Pokemon Adventures, but like Misty has a little bit more of a prominent role, but like Red's not traveling with them. I just like that whole aspect of it because it really does feel like the progression of the games a little bit, but it's got this weird like some of the gym leaders are evil storyline, and so I think that's kind of fun.
But I just like also seeing different sides of the gym leaders and knowing that they also have lives. Like in the anime, you find out that Brock is a great cook and has like 19 siblings, and here he's just a badass gym leader, and it's like like he has, there's different sides to this man.
Yeah, like Misty lives in a mansion. She doesn't have any sisters that refuse to battle Ash.
Yeah, because he's dumb.
But yeah, so this actually brings us to the close of our very first episode of this podcast.
Woo!
So
I don't know what that sound was. I'm so sorry.
If you enjoyed it, that's really, really awesome. You can feel free to give us some. Let us know what you liked about it, what you think it's fun for us to talk about, things that you want us to go over. You can do that by either tweeting at us at PokeKellz and at Hildewereld. And I don't know. I tried. I did my best.
Say it. Also,
I did my very, very best.
If you're listening to this on a place that's not YouTube, if you want to, on the YouTube version, we actually have faces. So if you're into faces, you can watch it on YouTube too and see them. But you know,
if you're on
you don't have
YouTube, you
to.
can see our faces. We're waving right now.
Yeah, we're waving.
If you are on iTunes, why don't you go ahead and give us a nice little good review on iTunes, because that helps us to see the visibility of the podcast. If you hated this podcast, which I don't know why you stuck around for the entire thing, if you hated it, just don't bother reviewing it. Thanks.
And whoa. And
Just
also,
kidding. I know, that's terrible.
this is a request from my side personally. Please try not to spoil the upcoming mangas in the comments, because I'm going to be reading them per episode. Like I read this right before the episode so that I kind of know. So I'm going to read volume 2 now. Then we're going to record blah, blah, blah. So please don't spoil them for me, because I really want to keep this like fresh.
And there are some cool reveals that I don't want her to know about until they happen, okay?
Yeah.
So don't
do it. Don't be meanie. Big ol' meanie.
Cool. But sincere thank you for listening to our first pilot episode of this podcast, and we do hope to have more in the very near future. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it today. We are part of. Well, this is going up on the Dex channel. If you haven't watched this channel, welcome to it. There's a lot of other things: trivia, strategy, Pokemon news, another Pokemon podcast, and some other things that go on.
Mainly
and then,
things
of course,
about Pokemon by people who really love Pokemon. That's it.
And then on Hilda's YouTube channel, she also does rating all Pokemon videos, which are really fun and exciting and cool to watch. And you're a very charming individual. So I could watch you do.
Girl.
I could watch you do like literally anything.
Ooh,
Don't do this. Don't do this at the end of this podcast. Don't make me cry. Come on, girl.
Okay. Well, before the waterworks start, thank you guys again for watching. We will see you back sometime soon with our second episode. Thanks again. And I've been Kelly.
And I've been Hilda, and I still am Hilda.
That's good. I'm so glad. All right. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.